कैरेक्टर का एग्नोस्टिक एथियस्ट ये है, उसको लगा कि ऐसे शब्द फेंकेगा मुझे समझ में नहीं आएगा। आप एक्टर हो, आप औरत हो, आप यंग हो, आपका तो दिमाग ही नहीं चलेगा।
I've been bumped off certain films not because I didn't qualify for the part, but because the male actor in the film didn't want to work with me. The younger generation, especially of male actors, I feel are far better advocates of gender equality than perhaps the older generations.
Yes. Do you think that that's true even for the South Indian film industry? नज़र बदलनी मर्दों की है. They have to become aware that it is possible for us to do all kinds of things and it's perfectly acceptable, natural.
Hi, I'm Mirza.
I'm Ratna Pathak Shah.
I am Sanjana Sanghi.
Hi, मैं हूँ Fatima Sheikh and you're watching me on Etimes.
When a bunch of prolific actors come together, they often create magic on screen. And today I'm interacting with a bunch of female-centric actors, जिसकी trailer name my heart went Dhak Dhak. So thank you so much guys for bringing something like Dhak Dhak today, and that too on a huge theatrical release platform, because that's what we need when it comes to women specifically. I want to start off by saying this. मैंने ये trailer में देखा और मुझे आपके ही particular scene से inspiration मिला और मेरे को सबसे पहले वो thought वहीं गया है. In our country for generations, men have often played roles which are also not roles by, I don't mean like in an acting way, but like you'll have male chefs also. That is not questioned. But when a woman is more in touch with her masculine self, that is often questioned. For example, riding a bike. And जब आप ride कर रहे थे, there's a scene where he's telling you कि आंटी चला रही है, and you reply back and you're saying like लड़के स्कूटर पे बैठे हैं, right? Do you all still feel that only Women's Day is a day when people come out and talk about gender equality and all of that, but otherwise there is just no talk or chatter? What do you all have to say about this?
No, I think
They may not be chatter otherwise, but I think women live lives every single day when they have to step out and be proactive. They have to do things for themselves, for their families, and women have been doing it for centuries. We are used to it. Nazar badalni mardon ki hai. They have to become aware that it is possible for us to do all kinds of things and it's perfectly acceptable, natural. And I think we're slowly moving towards that. थोड़ा सा वक्त लगेगा, थोड़ा सा नहीं, बहुत सारा वक्त, मगर 3000 साल से चलती हुई एक प्रथा के सामने हम खड़े हुए हैं आज, तो 2 दिन में तो नहीं खत्म होने वाला है ना वो.
Correct.
तो धीरे धीरे हो रहा है और होगा, जरूर होगा.
No, I think the world is gender unequal. It's a serious issue, and it's also because most societies are patriarchal.
Yeah.
And it will take, there is intergenerational patriarchy that needs to be shed, and it will take time for us to, shed that patriarchy. But Ratna ji is correct when she says that it is every woman, it is empowered women that empower women, right?
Yeah.
So it's every woman who chooses to pursue her academics, pursue the full potential of her being, that then becomes a torchbearer for many other women. I discovered, just yesterday or day before yesterday, the woman that won a Nobel Prize is a woman from Iran who's in jail right now. And as we speak, there are so many parts of the world, including India, where women do not have an equal place in society, and there is a lot of work to be done. But the beautiful thing about storytelling is that it shapes our perceptions. It pushes us or compels us to think differently and feel more and care more. And I think the more representation we have of such narratives, and the more such narratives that come into play, a lot of that shifting will happen. But it happens with every woman at home. It starts there, when our mothers make better choices, we make better choices.
The women who come to work for us in our house,
they
are the ones that have inspired me always.
I was just
since I was a child. These women step out of the house, they don't get any respect when they go back home, and yet they are so full of life. I remember going to college in Bombay, and of course you took a train to college, and in the second class women's compartment, मर्द झड़कड़ के सब लोग अंदर घुसते हैं. These women have been up from 4 o'clock in the morning, making tiffins, washing clothes, setting up their homes before they leave to go to work.
Yeah.
Right?
And work
and
all
their
day.
whole day is going to go on till 12 at night. And किस मजे से बातें करती है,
Yeah.
not a single
Spirit. Yeah.
I'm amazed. And वो मर्दों के कंपार्टमेंट में देखो सब लोग ऐसे मरोज, सब लोग अपना न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ के सड़े हुए बैठे हैं और ये औरतें गप्पे मांग रही हैं, खाना एक दूसरे के साथ शेयर कर रही हैं. That is what has stayed in my mind always.
But you know, just picking from that only, do you think that because women are also so light-hearted and we are so in touch with our sensitivity, कि often we are not taken seriously even as far as when we are on a job front? ये मेरे साथ भी हुआ है and I'm going to talk it about it because I might be a certain personality type, but when it comes to work, I'm just not that. I'm way more dedicated and serious and you have to try me out, give me that opportunity and a chance to actually explore, right?
But I don't think it has anything to do with how you are. It's just
It's
how
how women
society
are boxed,
is.
probably.
Yeah, it's,
स्टेरियोटाइप्स होते हैं ना. तो अगर आप उनको लगता है कि आप ऐसे दिखते हो और आप ऐसे बात करते हो तो आप स्टूपिड होंगे या आप डम होंगे, तो वो सिर्फ एक सेक्स तक सीमित नहीं होता है. आप चाहे एक क्लास से आओ, आप एक सर्टन स्टाटा से आओ, आप अगर एक औरत हो और एक आप सर्टन सेक्ट से आते हो और नीची जात से आते हो तो आपके लिए वो जर्नी और भी ज़्यादा मुश्किल है. तो हम सिर्फ औरतों के राइट्स के लिए नहीं फाइट कर रहे हैं, हम उसमें भी लेयर्स और लेयर्स और लेयर्स, जैसे रत्ना ने कहा और जैसे इन्होंने कहा कि बहुत सदियां लगेगी. क्योंकि पहली बात तो एज अ सोसाइटी आपको एक्नॉलेज करना पड़ेगा कि औरतों में थोड़ी औरतों के साथ इनइक्वालिटी होती है, बट हम सबको सब कुछ फाइट करना है. सो आई फील अ ट्रू फेमिनिस्ट इज समबडी हु ट्रीट्स एवरीबडी इक्वली. सो इट्स नॉट ओनली कि तू औरत है मैं औरत हूँ, बट तू औरत है, तू नीची जात वाली है, तू सेम कास्ट की नहीं है, वो सब है. आई इंक्लूड यू.
So, you know, this when we're talking by and large as far as societal issues are also concerned. But if I'm going to narrow it down and talk about our industry also in specific, I think there are tons of people who've come out and spoken about things like gender pay disparity, not getting equal opportunities, even getting bums on seat if it's a female-centric film. Do you think that's changing? And what is, like, y'all have all worked in different, you know, time eras. How has that individually for y'all evolved and what is your take on that? I would like to start from you.
Well, I started acting at a time when what is strangely known as women-centric films had started being made, whether it was films made by Shyam Benegal and Govind Nihlani and people like that, or it was one of the first few films that I got a chance to do anything with, a film called Lipstick Under My Burqa. Yes. Now, all of these films have given me a chance to see a different kind of filmmaking and a different kind of a mood on set. But I also remember hanging out on a regular film set and seeing the kind of hierarchy that operates there, seeing the kind of gender inequalities that operate there. And I remember even as a child feeling very put off by it when I went with my mum for a shoot, or I went for all kinds of other film-related activities. I remember feeling very, very put off by that, even as a young child.
Yeah.
Today, I notice that there is a change. There is much more equality on a set, much more gender equality on a set, many more women on a set.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
There's a loo for women on a set. You know, I mean, I remember times when you had to go and stand behind the card with three people with, umbrellas.
Even
because
when
there was
we got
nowhere.
to Khardungla, we had a
But that's Khardungla, yaar.
But
We still had a
that
loo.
is the
Yes,
kind
yes.
of care somebody took to
Yes.
make sure that we
Yes.
always had access to personal hygiene.
Yes. I mean, these things have changed in a very big way.
Yeah.
So these are the little and big changes that will finally inform the kind of films we make. The change really that hasn't occurred enough is the change in the mindset of the producers, the money bags. They are the ones who are still very nervous about putting money into projects which are not clearly kind of masochistic and, not masochistic, what's the word I'm looking for? Masculine celebrations, all of them. They still find it very hard. And the recent success of such films has definitely complicated the issue a bit.
Yeah.
But I think that there are too many women out there who want to hear their own stories. We want to see ourselves on screen also.
Yeah.
And now we have purchasing power.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to make films for us. As simple as that.
Sana, what do you have to say?
So for me, fortunately मैंने जिन लोगों के साथ काम किया है वहाँ पे काफ़ी इक्वालिटी रही है. मैंने दंगल की है, वहाँ पे women were celebrated. तो all the films that I have done, there has been never an instance where मैंने देखा हो कि किसी लड़की को अलग तरीके से ट्रीट किया जाए, क्योंकि मैंने सोनाली के साथ काम किया, मेघना के साथ काम किया है, अनिल कपूर प्रोडक्शन के साथ किया, वहाँ पे श्रेया देव दुबे, शी वाज द DOP, so we've had crew members, editors who were women, and that's why I've never felt it on set. However, there were times when I was offered female led films और वहाँ पे डिस्कशन हो रहा है, सिर्फ मर्द है, मुझे उससे प्रॉब्लम नहीं है क्योंकि हमारी फिल्म भी 2 मर्दों ने लिखी है, बट उनका अंडरस्टैंडिंग फेमिनिस्ट लोग हैं, समझते, तकलीफ़ों को समझते, सेंसिटिव है, तो वो उस तरीके से लिखी गई है. जिस रूम में मैं हूँ वहाँ पे उनमें से एक भी मर्द को कोई भी अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है, क्योंकि ट्रेंड चल रहा है कि फीमेल ओरिएंटेड फिल्में चल रही है, तो भाई हम भी बनाएंगे, मुद्दे के ऊपर बनाएंगे, मतलब वेरी गुड, बनाना चाहिए, आई वांट टू डू इट, आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड. नाउ आई हैव ओपिनियंस, nobody wants to listen to my opinion. So कोई मुझे बोलता है कि नहीं एक्चुअली ना कैरेक्टर का एग्नोस्टिक एथियस्ट ये है, मैं बोला हाँ तो भाई उसमें क्या हो गया, उसको लगा कि ऐसे शब्द फेंकेगा मुझे समझ में नहीं आएगा, तो वो आप ऑटोमेटिकली समझते कि आप स्टूपिड हो, कि आप एक्टर हो, आप औरत हो, आप यंग हो, आपका तो दिमाग ही नहीं चलेगा, आप बहुत लकी हो भाई मैंने आपको फिल्म ऑफर की. तो मैंने
ये फिल्में ऐसी है जहाँ औरतें आर डूइंग द सेम थिंग दैट द मर्द्स यूज्ड टू डू 10 years ago.
करेक्ट,
You're just replacing the stupid man.
करेक्ट, एंड ऑल्सो मुद्दे के ऊपर है, लेकिन वो फिर भी सेक्सिस्ट फिल्म है. So it is about a mudda, but it is still a sexist film. And if you cannot recognize that,
Diya, anything for you?
Oh my God, I came at a time where, there was the advent of the multiplex had not happened, and there was like this big shift that was beginning to occur because multiplexes were about to come in. And a lot, it was deeply patriarchal. I remember when I was filming my first, second movie, the only female other than me were the female dancers and the hairdresser.
Correct.
And it was a time when a hairdresser couldn't do makeup.
Yes.
She couldn't perform
Women
the
did
job
not get cards.
Yeah, they
makeup
would
cards.
not get permission from the union to do makeup. Only men were allowed to do makeup.
can you imagine?
That's just so like women need makeup.
No, but forget that. The point is that we were very underrepresented in the film industry, and that is changing, although there is a significant gap that still exists today. But I have to admit, the younger generation, especially of male actors, I feel are far better advocates of gender equality than perhaps the older generations.
Yes, I agree.
Because I think not only are the conversations evolving, I think their basic understanding of what truly makes you a good human being is seeping in.
Do you think that that's
It's,
true even for the South Indian film industry?
I don't know, I haven't really worked there, so I can't speak for them. But
one hears very strange
I
things
feel-
about that.
I feel like I know that I've been bumped off certain films because not because I didn't qualify for the part, but because the male actor in the film didn't want to work with me. Because perhaps he thought I was not accessible in ways that he wanted me to be. But I also now know of male actors who have no interference in the casting of films. And
There
I
are
feel
changes.
like every woman has different struggles in different industries, and I feel the biggest struggle that we have within our industry is ageist. It's the sexism that we have to, like the daily sexism that we have to deal with on a set, where people wouldn't even consider it as a sexist thing, right? क्योंकि हमको छोटा डब्बा ट्रेलर मिलता था और मेरे को साइज से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, as long as it's clean I'm happy to use it. But the male star on the film will get, a full entourage. There's like excess offered to him. There is just so much accommodation for his time, for his his space, his delays. But if a woman dare ask or happen to be late for genuinely good reason, it was considered a big issue. It was considered to be unprofessional. So I feel a lot has changed. We are definitely evolving, and also I think there's a big part that women themselves have played in this. I want to point to one more thing. I remember when we were younger, we were told जल्दी शादी मत करो, कर लोगे शादी कर लोगे तो काम मिलना बंद हो जाएगा, करियर खत्म हो जाएगा, बच्चा हो जाएगा तो करियर तो बिल्कुल खत्म हो जाएगा. And I would always say, but then how did actors like Sharmila Tagore and all continue to work? They worked with children, families, and So there was, I think, a decade. I think the 80s and the 90s
Were the lowest
particularly
were
bad,
particularly bad when it comes to how the lens that women were perceived through, and the kind of choices women even within the industry were making. Because a lot of them, the moment they got married, up and left, at the peak of their career or whatever, they didn't continue working. They came back later. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all of these conceptions are born in that era, which thankfully my generation has dispelled.
To just finish that off, I was saying that I wonder if it's the parts that I get to read are of whole women, and I haven't had a time when I didn't read such parts. So I take it as the norm. But when I get to speak to Rats or D, I understand that that's not how it was. So it does feel like, I feel fortunate, but it does feel like a generic victory, you know, for where we've come, how far we've all come.
I also want to ask you this, and I'm coming from a personal space. Like, you know, you have a partner who's from the industry as well. I personally feel it's a plus because you can often discuss work, take things back, take like criticism, feedback, all of that. Do you think that that's also how you operate with Naseeruddin ji, or do you feel you all are just individually such strong people that you all don't merge or blur those lines?
Oh, of course we merge and blur. How can you not? And it is true. It has been a very wonderful collaboration for both of us, partly because we both wanted very much to make it work. It can fall apart, like anything can.
Yeah, sure.
But the desire to be together, the fact that we actually like being together, we are friends, that is what has pushed us along all these years. And the best thing is that we have been able to be friends with our children, not just amongst ourselves. I think that was the one thing that I missed in my relationship with my parents. They loved me and I loved them, but we were never friends. Particularly with my dad. He came from a different era where becoming friends with your child was not as comfortable for him. But today, it is possible to be friends with your child. And I can't tell you what a sense of freedom that gives you.
That's so true. Lastly, before I wrap this up, Sana, I have to ask you this because this comes from, again, a personal space, and I thought, why not utilize this and talk to women out here? When I look up to my mentor, I'm often, you know, trying to, I won't say ape, but I'm also inspiring myself in more than many ways and trying to follow certain things that I have seen my mentor do. When you sort of debuted, you've been a child artist, we know that, but when you actually came there, Dangal was a massive hit. You worked with Amir, and I'm sure in many interviews you've said that what a fabulous mentor he's been. Do you feel personally that your filmography also takes inspiration from your mentor, or you feel like
बिल्कुल नहीं, वो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है क्योंकि वो आदमी अलग पोजीशन पे है, वो अलग स्ट्रेंथ और अलग पावर से आता है, और फॉर अ न्यू कमर दैट इज नॉट, दोज आर नॉट द ऑप्शंस यू हैव.
That's so true.
But you're not a newcomer anymore. You do have a solid body of work where we've loved you.
I know, but वो perception बाहर का है. When you're making choices, अभी मेरी इच्छा होगी मैं ये टाइप की फिल्म करूं, मुझे वो वाली नहीं मिलेगी, मुझे कुछ और मिलेगी. काम हम सबको बहुत आता होगा, लेकिन जो हमें करना है वो शायद नहीं आता होगा, और वो ढूंढना ना वो एक struggle होता है.
So what is it that you're craving?
I crave for good roles, good films, good stories, something that I resonate with.
More films like Dhak Dhak.
Yeah.
जैसे धक धक है, या फिर ऐसे डायरेक्टर है जिनके साथ, जैसे अनुराग बासु है, I want to work with him. There are some people you just want to, you know, collaborate with. If I get to work with them again, I would really want to, क्योंकि मेरे को मजा आया. In the end, work is life. We spend months and years on one project. It shapes you, it builds you. 3 साल आपने अगर किसी प्रोजेक्ट में डाले, या 1.5 साल या 2 साल, आप वो नहीं हो जो आप थे पहले, क्योंकि आप हर रोज बदलते हो. तो फॉर मी चूजिंग द राइट पीपल इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग.
Well, thank you so much. I'm running short on time with you all. I would have had like hour-long conversation on multiple things that are going on in my mind.
Yes, that's the trouble.
Yeah,
you're very
that's the
interesting
trouble,
ladies,
but
and we
yes.
can have a nice chat
Yeah,
together.
it's so enlightening. It feels so great. But thank you so very much to everybody. I'm looking forward to Dhak Dhak, and I know that today and here on, people like you all with more films like these will get more women and empower us also who come and do these interviews.
Inshallah.
So thank you so
That has to.
much.
Thank you.
So much.